All right, we are live and all set to go.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. It is cold. You're inside. You're not here at the senior center, but the senior center's warm anyway. So I now call this meeting to order. And Linda, I assume you're on track here?
No problem.
Linda?
No problem.
Okay. All right, let's go through the minutes. First thing on the agenda is approval of minutes from last January. Or November, really. Yes.
Right.
So are there anything that do you see any changes to the minutes from November?
Recommend approval of the minutes.
What?
I recommend approval of the minutes. This is Virginia.
You didn't send out the minutes, Linda?
Virginia's recommending approval, Adrian.
Oh, okay. Is there a second to that?
Second. This is Teresa.
All right. All in favor of approving the minutes as they are?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. The minutes are approved. All right. The Friends report. Now, where do I find it? Kara couldn't make it, so she gave me a...
I can read it, Adrian. I have it.
You have it?
Yep, I'll read it. The annual appeal is underway. A mass mailing was sent to all Northborough residents. We're approximately halfway to our goal to raise $25,000. We will continue to share through email and social media. Donations can be made all throughout the year, and we encourage all to donate. The Friends will resume meeting at the end of this month, and we'll be discussing viable fundraising options for the year. With the increase in COVID precautions, it's unclear when we'll be able to hold events again. A plan will be put into place.
Thank you, Kara, even though you're not here. So none of us have any answers if you have any questions, so we'll just keep on going from the Friends report. Now, I don't know, Eileen, are you around?
Of course, I'm right here.
Okay.
I sent out the director's report to you in advance. I thought it would sometimes could be helpful to see it and process it. I wanted to clarify one, I guess, minor or depending on your perspective point. In submitting the fiscal year 23 budget to the town, the directions were to submit it as a level funded budget. And in order to keep operations status quo, we needed a 4.2% increase. However, that is an overall increase. What increased significantly is this time around, with the help of the new facilities manager, we budgeted a fairly hefty amount of money for repairs, building repairs in fiscal year 23. Anticipating that there's some issues around the hot water boiler and a few other things. So the 4.23 is a little deceptive in terms of how that increase plays out. So I just want to be clear about that. The other thing I didn't put in my report because it wasn't that, I don't know, it was reportable, but not reportable, is during this 4-week period of time or 6-week period of time, we had 2 building inspections, one by the town's building inspection, and then a week later, the fire department came in and did a building inspection. And apparently these are old issues that didn't get addressed and relate to the building safety in particular, because some of you may know there are 11 different kinds of light bulbs in the building, and not all of them are working properly, particularly the ones that light the emergency exits. So that was great, that was a big concern to the building inspector. It is being addressed, but it's taking a while because just matching the parts to what we have seems to be complicated. We keep ordering bulbs and ballasts, and I signed off on an invoice, as an example, $850 of light bulbs, and we're still not done. And there's still no lights outside because there's something wrong with the wiring, anyway. So it's not an exciting thing, but it's time consuming. The fire department went through all of our closets and the attic with a fine tooth comb. And again, said that this was an ongoing issue. So I've taken pictures of the attic, sent them to Carrie, because a lot of the stuff in the attic is Friends material, entire, aside from one whole room. I, with the help of Public Works, cleaned out, we did two truckloads of trash out of the attic. There's probably about 6 more to go, but it's better. But just the way the things were piled up in the attic was just a huge concern to the fire department. And I'm trying to figure out how we can do that. So that's just a little addendum to my report. That's, you can ask your questions about that if you want. The other thing I wanted to just mention, the bistro numbers. The numbers for the same period, I went back to 2019 because that was the last year we had any really substantial bistro data. It's down by about 50%. So that again shouldn't surprise you given the climate, but we're open and things are good. So anyway, that's really kind of my exciting report. I know, it was riveting description of the attic. Yes.
I also appreciate getting the statistics for outreach and the phone logs and the volunteer hours. And, it's pretty impressive what's accomplished even in the midst of a pandemic. Because I realize everything is that much harder, but, you just can't stop in and visit someone. It's an orchestrated effort. So I appreciate that and appreciate the work of staff.
Yeah, they've been great. They really have. So just when we got our driver's stable, Warren Johnson gave his notice, and we have a lead on another one, but it's taking us a while to pull it together. And then Dennis Parker, who's our senior driver, is going out mid-February for carpal tunnel surgery. So yeah, we'll get it done, but it's a real fine balancing act.
And I think those numbers are actually back up to pre-pandemic levels. I mean, the vans are very busy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Although fairly high concern I have of the number of cancellations. Like what is that all about? Is it that doctors' offices are calling and canceling, or that people are just changing their mind at the last minute and deciding not to go out? So I don't know.
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, a lot of doctors' offices are canceling in-person visits and shifting them to virtual if possible. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So Adrian, that's my report. You still there, Adrian? Looks like she is. Jim, can you tell if Adrian's still connected?
Yes.
I'm here, but I'm still having troubles, but okay.
Okay.
Okay, so does that have to finish your director's report, Eileen?
Yes, unless there's like anything that you think I'm missing, or that, oh, I should say that the recruitment has started back up for the permanent director. That's back up, and yeah. So that hasn't been
So
forgotten
then,
in the shuffle here.
Eileen, do your phone hand boxes have a volume on them?
yeah, I'm looking at it, and I think this is the volume. Let me see.
I'm just wondering if that's what you needed.
There's a plus and a minus button on it. Let me run over.
No, I turned it up. I found it.
Okay.
Okay.
I turned it up. It's easier now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you're finished with your director's report, the
Yes, I am.
WRTA. How about the Bay? How about Jerry and the Bay Path?
Okay, good to see you all. What happened, is that the Bay Path is in the process of merging with Wayland. And that's no secret to anybody anymore, I'm sure. However, in this time, which is going to last probably until the summer, it's going to take before it's finished, we're given some information that we can pass on to everybody. But as opposed to what was going on in the past, we now have to basically only give you information that is basically given out from from Bay Path, and other information has to remain silent at the present time. So I'll give you what I have. It'll take just a few minutes. First of all, there was a number of people who wanted to get comments from Dr. Bauman regarding the COVID-19 situation. And he showed up at the last meeting and discussed with us what I think this information is pretty well already in the hands of everybody, but I'll just mention a little bit. He updated the board on COVID, stating that everyone has seen the news and there was a dramatic upswing. Well, as you know, it's even more than that today, especially with unvaccinated people. He quoted that 93% of seniors have fully been vaccinated, but the booster rate is really low. It's only at this time, this was, well, I guess just about January the 3rd. Okay, so it's not quite a week ago. I'm sorry, a little bit more than a week ago. And his notes were that every week brings a higher number of breakthrough cases. Essentially, I follow it fairly closely, and they've been going up across the country. I'm sure everybody knows, at a fantastic rate. The one thing that seems to be the differential is people who have received the booster shot show a very low probability that they will actually be getting the COVID, because essentially the booster shots seem to give them enough protection so that only a very small percentage of those people who have the booster shot so far have gotten the COVID-19 Omicron. He stated, I don't know if everybody realizes this, that this is a respiratory and breathing issues that bring patients to the hospital. Obama stated that he himself is double masking and encourages others also to begin double masking. I think if you've had the booster shot, it may not be quite as dramatic. That was a week ago, so things may have changed a lot since then. The rest of the information that I have concerns, first of all, there was an advocate of the year and a letter to Carmen Gentle was named, who was named Advocate of the Year by the Home Care Alliance of Massachusetts. And we sent a letter acknowledging and expressing gratitude for his efforts. The American Recovery Plan Act funds for home and community-based services. I'm reading from what I can say. The COVID-19 pandemic has challenged community-based service providers in many ways, but particularly in the area of retention and recruitment of direct care workers. Mass Health and the Massachusetts Executive Office of Health and Human Services have responded throughout the pandemic by funding rate increases to providers for the purpose of increasing compensation to the direct care workforce. EOHHS just announced that those increases will continue through June of 2022, this year. Mass Health Family Assistance. Effective November 1st, Mass Health has extended access to community and facility-based long-term services and supports to legal residents under color of law who have not been in the United States for 5 years, which is required to qualify for the federal Medicaid. Prior to November 1, the family assistance coverage provided by Mass Health did not include LTSS, obviously, which such as nursing facility, personal care attendant, adult daycare, etc. Aging services access points such as BayPath are responsible for accessing eligibility for LTSS. So essentially, they've extended, and hopefully that'll give it to more people. Every year, the generous employees of the TJ Maxx companies, the company that owns TJ Maxx, and Marshalls, present gifts for BayPath Elder Services consumers who may not otherwise receive one. BayPath staff delivered 100 gifts from TJX to consumers. In addition, BayPath staff donated over 100 toys for tots and a shipment of household goods to Pathways. Transitional shelter in Framingham, to Pathways, the traditional shelter in Framingham. We're grateful for the holiday, giving so many people who were in need. So that's the extent of the information that is authorized to be given out at this time. I think it'll be somewhat similar for the next 5 or 6 months until this transition is completed.
Jerry, you, just for the minutes for clarity, you said BayPath is in the process of merging with Wayland? Meaning,
No, not Wayland.
you mean HESCO?
No, Springwell.
Springwell. All
Yeah,
right.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
which ASAP are you? I thought it was Springwell, but when you said Wayland, I was confused. Okay.
I didn't
Thank you.
mean, sorry about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, it's the
It's
Springwell.
Waltham, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
I thought it was Waltham, that the Springwell was in Waltham.
Well, Springwell covers many communities. Springwell's been doing some of BayPath's protective services for years and other things, so it makes perfect sense.
I meant to say Waltham and not Wayland. That was my mistake.
Okay. Well, that's a town. It's Springwell is the agency.
That's the agent, correct.
Okay. Thank you. And
Yep.
you mentioned an advocate of the year, Carmen, but I didn't catch the last name.
Okay, just let me grab it. Carmen Gentile, Gentile.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, please? Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, Jerry. Is there any old business that somebody has? Nobody has any old business to bring up? How about community awareness? Is there anything that we should be aware of that we haven't heard of? You're all quiet. Okay, on to new. Is there somebody that has something to bring up on that community awareness? No. All right. On to new business. And I have an announcement. Phyllis Matthey has resigned from the council. She has moved. I'll read her letter, and Linda, I'll forward it to you. Dear Adrian, Happy New Year. I hope that you've been well and staying safe and warm. I wanted to let you know that I have to reluctantly resign from the COA board. My family relocated from Massachusetts, and I can therefore not serve on the board. It was a pleasure working with all of you, and I am so proud of the great work that the Northborough Senior Center does for the community. All the best to you and the rest of the board members. Best regards, Phyllis. So I accepted her resignation because I would like her to stay, but of course, if you move, you can't. So I have sent her a thank you note.
Great.
I felt that she was a very quiet person, but when she spoke, there was meaning to it. So I felt that she contributed to our group quite well. So I wanted to let you know about that. So is there anything else to bring up before this? We've done the old business, the community awareness. I don't have any new business. Arlene has advised us of what's going on here. And
Well, you might find this
nobody has
exciting,
anything
but
to say?
I drafted Liz to be trained as a memory workshop leader, along with a new volunteer, Jonna Zimmerman. And that's a new program we're going to launch in March. I don't know if Liz, I didn't want to put you on the spot, but if you feel like you could describe what that program might
so
look like.
we did a training via Zoom last month, and it's not meant for people who have a memory problem, but more for older, healthier population to kind of learn strategies for improving your memory, kind of like with a mindfulness approach, but getting a better understanding of like what type of learner you are. Are you more visual? Are you more tactile? And then using that understanding of how you best remember things to kind of put some strategies into place to be more helpful in the long run. So it's not like a dementia prevention, but more just having some awareness of how your memory works and then implementing strategies that could be helpful to you in the long run. I found it pretty interesting. So we're going to be doing we're going to be doing a workshop starting in March, a 4-week workshop. Hopefully we can get awareness and people to sign up for it.
Thank you, Liz. I know that Eileen had said there was a lot to the workshop, so and she thought it was very worthwhile. So I'm glad to have the second opinion too.
Yes.
Good. So thank you. All right. Is there anything else that anybody wants to remind us of, other than the fact that we're in a crazy pandemic?
If I might. Yeah. Somebody. Okay. I have a question. We had a very successful 2 days of booster shots, and a lot of people really were able to get it. I've noticed since then, I've heard from a lot of people that these shots are somewhat difficult to get. And according to the numbers on the document that I had, that only about 35%, maybe 40, the people so far have been able to get them. The reason I bring it up is it looks like that for the Omicron situation, very few people are having much trouble with it if they have the booster shot. So I don't know if there's any more scheduled for the senior center. I haven't heard anything about that. So I was just wondering if that might be something that was going to be offered again.
Okay, so I can respond to that a little bit. We've been hosting the clinics with the Board of Health, or they're doing the work. We just keep the building open. And so, for example, tonight is a pediatric clinic for children. Friday, we're hosting yet another booster clinic, but it's really for you can sign up for anything. You could get a booster and maybe you never even had your first shot. I think when you do sign up, there's a lot of flexibility. Beyond this Friday, I'm not sure whatever clinics are scheduled, but the appointments are filled almost as quickly as as the information is posted. So the interest and the need is very great. They've done incredible numbers of clinics here. Almost every single Friday has been one. Except for
And
last
it's been-
Friday. Very well received. Yeah.
I wanted to just give kudos. It's been very well received, and excellent care.
Yeah. They're great. So, yeah, I think it's really, times have changed, and it's a really significantly an online process. And so, if you're not following the town's website, you are at a disadvantage.
Are boosters unavailable at the pharmacies? Was that a one-time thing and it's over? I wonder if you can still make, you can make an appointment for a
Probably.
shingle shot there, and
The state website has a fair number of, there's a lot of opportunities. I mean, you could go to Hannaford's, you could go to Wegmans, you go to CVS. I mean, there's a lot of different opportunities. I actually at one point had 3 different appointments because I kept getting an earlier one.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
And so I canceled the later 2, and it was even easy to cancel. So
yeah, okay, that's good to know.
I hope that's still true. My son had a lot of trouble finding one. He lives in Mansfield, and so he visited a number of places before he found one that had any availability.
I think it's important to differentiate 3 things. Finding tests to see if you're positive is challenging.
Right.
Finding home test kits can be challenging, though that's changing. Getting the vaccine and booster is much less of an issue. So I think it's important to understand what are people waiting for.
Right. And calling to maybe the pharmacies, and does he have his booster now? Did your son get his booster?
I don't want to speak out of turn, but if you're concerned about it and he wants to travel to Northborough, it might be worth a call to the Board of Health to say any chance that you can help out my son for whatever reason. It's worth a call.
I think the other thing that's important is both Moderna and Pfizer have been approved by the CDC for a 5-month booster, not a 6-month. And that 30 days can be valuable. So I think it's just really worth being attentive to the news that comes out on a reputable source.
Well, I mean, we've all gotten the first and second shots and we worked through it. So I think that it's just the person has to be keep after it. That's all. It just doesn't drop in. So anyway, good luck to your friend there, Jerry. Is there anything else that somebody wants to share?
I just want to thank Eileen for her continued leadership. This is probably not the way she planned her retirement.
Believe me,
That's for sure. That's for sure.
And the fact that she's staying on while we're still looking is even better.
Yeah,
I will tell.
It's been hard, I have to say. I would be remiss. I mean, going into this shutdown has been very, I don't know what the word, and stressful isn't quite the word. It's a little maybe demoralizing or frustrating, because my interactions with people, and Jerry knows that, are often like your mask is not on properly. So the good news is that it's coming from me and I'm short-term, and the new person can start with a fresh slate. And we're open, and a lot of that is a tribute to the great building that this is. It's big and airy, and the fact that people are doing a decent job respecting the rules. A lot of places have closed, and that, you know, that may happen, but we're on a week-to-week basis. We're still here, not busy, but we're still here. So yeah,
Which is major.
yeah. But I've had more fun elsewhere. You know, yeah.
Well, that's why I think it's important. I mean, the stress on any frontline worker these days, be it healthcare, human services, grocery, whatever. I mean,
Groceries.
it's just huge. And I just think it's important to respect and thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I do.
Well, I think we all give you a vote of thanks for staying
For sure.
and bearing with us. So,
That's for sure.
and we are difficult at times.
Well, you know,
So,
hopefully
thank you.
there's some light at the end of the tunnel. That there will be a great and wonderful candidate that you will be so happy with. So.
Well, he or she has not shown up yet, and we're delighted to have you here,
Well, thank you.
as I've told you.
That's for sure.
And I should tell the rest of the group that I did ask Eileen if she would stay, and she told me no. So, but she's staying on until we find somebody, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah,
And maybe maybe Adrian, we should try to get her to do part-time work with us, you know? Maybe that's an angle.
yeah, I think this is a full-time job and then some, you know, I mean, it's
It really, yes.
Well, I also
I mean,
appreciate.
Go ahead.
Well, I can say what I also appreciate, I mean, just bringing on I forget her title, the new Linda, the program manager, I mean, you know, I think you're not just stabilizing things. You're really, I mean, cleaning the attic is huge, you know, it's those types of things that are just so valuable. And I think it's
anyone wants to join me, come on over.
I'm very good at cleaning.
Oh, good.
I'll
Okay.
be happy to help. I've cleaned
Great.
out more houses, and my kids' stuff is still here, and I keep trying to ship it off, and then more, you know.
Okay, I may take you up on that.
Yeah, I like that kind of thing.
Okay, great.
But we do appreciate you. I think that there's just a general cosmic fatigue, not just here, but all around the world, because just what we didn't need was a variant. And I feel sometimes worrying about what's the next variant going to be. And is it something that will be covered by the vaccine? And I think, okay, that's getting into a horrible, scary science fiction book. But I think there's just a general fatigue because people the numbers are so horrible. And as you were saying, Linda, you know, the frontline workers are so exhausted. We have a friend who's an ID physician. Everybody in the ICU is someone that hasn't been vaccinated. And then the breakthrough cases, and then more babies now are getting sick. I just heard that, and it's just very discouraging. So when I got my newsletter, I was so impressed with all the things that the senior center offers everybody in town. You know, it's just impressive when you look at all the things that are available. And the fact that you all are soldiering on in service of everyone is really commendable. But I think there's a weariness and a worry with this new variant for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I do want to mention,
tell you,
if you want to see something,
go ahead.
something really truly wonderful, Teresa, is a group
Yes.
of us hiked around the Tower Hill for the Christmas lights.
oh yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who does it.
Well, people
but
like my husband. My husband's
because
been a
I-
volunteer there.
there was
Yeah. Lots of volunteers.
Group of my friends went up there, and Teresa,
Yeah.
please, and we were just blown away. Thank you. So
Yeah.
please pass on
Glad
that.
you enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have about 12 horticulture staff, and Leah's right, a lot of volunteers. Not as many as we had before because of
Yeah.
COVID, but it takes a long time to put together.
I have to tell you, my close friend brought her daughter and brought her children. This is my friend's grandchildren to Tower Hill to see the lights, and she said, "Oh, this is Emma and Isabel's dad who did this." And they were like, "He did all this?" She said, "No, not by himself." So I told my husband, Don, everybody thinks the kids and the Mercy kids think you lit up the whole garden. He said, "Well, don't tell everybody that, because that's not the case." But he just, it's just brings such joy to people.
Yeah.
Tower Hill, even without the lights, is just a heavenly place.
Yeah.
I have to tell
It's
you,
just a
yeah,
wonderful.
if you've got to work somewhere during a pandemic, this is the place you want to be, because pretty
Yeah.
much everybody's in a good mood, and we provide
Yeah.
outdoor space and safe
Yeah.
place to be. So
It's a haven. It's a real haven.
it's,
Beautiful and lovely.
Tell
I
two
know
friends.
it's definitely off topic, but I did really want, since you were here, Teresa, I just wanted to talk about how wonderful that was.
Well, it's not completely off topic, because my question was, where are we with I know we put together a program subcommittee, and I do have somebody that would do a program from Tower Hill when we can do that again. So.
Well, let's hope that we can be able to do that in the near term, not the long term, because it's getting wearing on all of us. I mean, even in my own family, I have two that have COVID at the time. Neither one were vaccinated, because I had fought with them to get vaccination, and they wouldn't do it. So, and the one that found out he had COVID he was having a candy. He was eating a candy cane, and he said, "It doesn't have any flavor. These are bad." And that's because with COVID, you don't have any taste. So they went to the hospital, had him tested, and by God, he has COVID. So, and I haven't talked to him because I'm so mad at him.
So he most
because I
likely
think-
has the Delta variant, because the Omicron does not have that telltale loss of sight, smell and taste as much, just FYI. So.
It's okay. Well, I didn't know that, but because of course as I said, I haven't talked to him. I was so mad at him. I just feel that everybody should get, if not for themselves, for everybody else. That's my feeling. Because you just don't do something for yourself all the time. You do it for somebody else, which is why we're all in this Council on Aging, aren't we? To do something for the seniors. Yes. And as I'm listening to this, and I'm hearing you all talking about the different things that you do and how excited you are, and I can't see you because I'm on the phone, not the computer. And it's exciting to me to see the energy that this group is doing. So thank you all. And let's do even better next year. That's my challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So anyhow, is there anything else that somebody wants to say? Then I will call this meeting adjourned. And as I said, thank you all.
And thank you, Jim, for hosting this for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely, not
Thank
a problem.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes.
Same to you.
Yes.